You grow up above a betting shop in Small Heath, Birmingham, where money never stays still long enough to feel honest. Your father runs numbers until drink ruins his arithmetic. Your mother keeps the real books in a biscuit tin under the sink. By 12, you already know something most men spend years avoiding. Cash tells the truth before people do. You're not built for the street, not strong enough, not reckless enough, not stupid enough. What you do have is numbers. You can find missing money in a crowded ledger, catch theft in bad handwriting, and balance accounts in your head while other men are still blaming each other. At 17, you're working for a shipping office near the canal, learning that almost anything can move through England if the paperwork looks clean enough. You meet Thomas Shelby through an error. A pub owner brings you a ledger that won't reconcile. He thinks one of the barmaids is stealing. You find the real leak in 20 minutes. A cousin has been shaving fractions from 10 separate entries because small theft looks like carelessness if it's spread wide enough. The pub owner mentions your name to the wrong people. A day later, you're in the garrison sitting across from Tommy Shelby. Tommy is calm in the way dangerous men usually aren't. Arthur is there too. Restless, already irritated by the idea of arithmetic. Polly says almost nothing, which tells you she understands everything. Tommy slides a ledger across the table and asks one question. Can you make profit look smaller than it is? You open the book and understand immediately. The business is healthy. Too healthy. Healthy enough to attract taxmen, coppers, and rivals. Too much profit is a problem if strangers can count it. You say, depends who's asking. Polly smiles. Tommy doesn't. By the end of the day, you've taken one truth and split it into 3 versions. One set of books for the family, one for the authorities, one for anybody dangerous enough to ask questions with a gun instead of a badge. Tommy hires you on the spot. At first, the work feels almost respectable. Wages, licenses, betting receipts, transport invoices, warehouse costs. Shelby Company LPD is still small enough to pretend it's just ambitious. Then the real business starts showing through the cracks. Whiskey hidden inside legal shipments. Guns passed through crates marked as machinery. Bribes written down as security expenses. Debt collected through fear and then recorded like ordinary revenue. That becomes your job, turning crime into administration. When a customs officer notices labor costs don't match warehouse output, you create overtime sheets. When a policeman raises his price, you bury the payment under municipal fees. When race day cash comes in too heavy, you spread it across shell accounts and repair invoices. Tommy starts taking you to meetings because men like him think in power, but eventually, someone has to reduce power into figures. And for a while, you enjoy it more than you should. You get better suits, better rooms, better treatment from men who used to ignore you. Your hands stay clean while other men in the company come home with blood on their cuffs. That's the comfort of accounting. Violence reaches you only after it's been translated into costs, losses, payroll, and compensation. Then a widow comes into the office. Her husband drove one of the company lorries. Officially, he died in a transport accident outside Coventry. Unofficially, the lorry was carrying rifles hidden beneath farm equipment, and the men who stopped it knew exactly what they were looking for. She arrives with 2 children and a death certificate, and asks why the payout is so small. You already know the answer. Because the official manifest can't show the real cargo. And if the real cargo doesn't exist on paper, then neither does the real reason her husband died. The company can only compensate the legal version of events, not the true one. You try to route extra money through a relief account. Polly agrees. Tommy refuses, not with anger, just with logic. One exception becomes expectation. Expectation becomes weakness. Weakness gets exploited. The widow leaves with less than she deserves. And for the first time, the books in front of you stop feeling abstract. Every balanced ledger is hiding someone else's loss. Every clean total is built on a dirty bargain. You keep working. That's the ugliest part. Understanding the machine doesn't stop it. Payroll still runs. Bribes still go out. The company keeps growing. Then 2 real ledgers disappear from the safe. Not the public books, the real ones. The kind that could tie shell firms to gun shipments and gun shipments to Tommy Shelby. You trace access, keys, schedules, handwriting. It leads to a junior clerk whose brother owed money to London men. Tommy gets the ledgers back. The clerk disappears. The next morning, his desk is empty. His wages redistributed? And the office moves on like he never existed. That's when you decide to leave. Quietly. Carefully. The only way an accountant can. Small sums moved through dormant accounts. Tiny adjustments. Enough to vanish, not enough to be noticed immediately. When you resign, Tommy looks at you for a long moment. Long enough that you suspect he already knows. He asks where you're going. You lie. He nods anyway. Then he says, "You were very good for us. Not with us. For us." People think empires like Thomas Shelby's are built by men with razors and guns. They're not. Those men make headlines. Men like you make the empire possible. Someone has to make extortion look like wages, bribery look like expenses, smuggling look like trade, and blood look like a number at the bottom of a page. That was you. Tommy Shelby built power. You made it balance.